Hi everyone, we have now the Albanian team. Can you introduce yourself and say something about your organization?
Yeah, so we're part of European Movement Albania. I'm Andrita. Here with me it's Agri, Gary and Gesiana.
So our first question is the typical. How do you find democracy in your country? What is democracy for you basically?
Well, we've been a country who has had communism for a long time, and through the protest we got democracy. But right now in our country it's fragile. So we have problems with justice, we have problems with corruption. Yeah, so it's in a transitory process still.
So now the Spanish team will ask a question to you.
We saw that there are more Albanian people living outside the country than in it. Why do you think it happens?
Well, since Albania has a low economy, a lot of people are trying to find solution in other countries. And immigration was part of Albania in the last, not just in the last 13 years, but in the last 100 years, I would say. They were, even in the beginning of the Independence Day, they were emigrating in America, in Germany, and Italy, Greece, everywhere. I mean, that's why, I mean, for economical reason, there is a large diaspora.
Yes, like Romania.
Exactly.
But how much people are still in Albania?
In Albania are like 3 million people, and outside I would say like, I don't know, 2 million. How much? I actually don't have the numbers right now, but let's say.
Well, it depends if you talk about the Albanians who are immigrants or you talk about the Albanians who are outside our borders, for example, like Albanians in Kosovo or Albanians in Montenegro who live
Albanians in North Macedonia, for example, in the last census held the last week in North Macedonia, 29% of the ethnic of the North Macedonia were Albanians too. So we are not. There are also Albanians who.
Do you have the numbers?
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's
say 6 million people, Albanians outside Albania.
Okay, now the Lebanese team will ask some questions.
All right, so my question is that Albania has witnessed different ruling systems from a monarchy to a communist state, and now it's transitioning towards a more democratic state. In which of these different trains was Albania at its finest? And what do you think is the best ruling system that's most fit for Albania at the moment? Thank you.
Well, obviously the democratic system. It has problems like corruption and everything else. The elite, the political elite doesn't change, but still it's better than an isolated state that it was in the Stalinist regime of Enver Hoxha. And of course, I mean, we are making a lot of progressive steps right now, even towards the European Union. So I'm going to say the democratic system, it's the finest and the best, even though there were a lot of good things in the monarchy. For example, the parliamentarism, it was the best in my opinion. And also there were a lot of other good things that happened during the Hoxha regime, but still, when it comes to human rights, it is the democracy system.
So now a question from the Greek team. Do you think Albania is a great fit for European Union and why?
Nice question. Well, I think it is a good. Because European Union is about diversity. I mean, they talk a lot about diversity, and you know, in Albania, the major part of the people are Muslims, and so with the entrance of Albania in European Union, we will be the first country with a Muslim majority, but not just that. I mean, Albania is basically in the heart of Europe. There are a lot of transitions about the economy and stuff, and that's why, I mean, Albania should be in Europe.
And the Albanians have been wanting to be part of European Union for a long time. You know, there are countries who have become part of European Union who have not been ready to enter EU, but they were part of EU and then they worked on their reforms. For us now, it's like we have to fulfill all the conditions and we have to do all these reforms, and still we're not getting accepted to enter into EU. And they always say that, yeah, everything is okay, now you are together. We are together right now with Northern Macedonia, so now we have other problems, like Bulgaria has the veto for Macedonia, which is affecting us. So we have to find a solution which evaluates only Albanians' progress towards EU.
And I must say that the vast majority of the Albanian population is very pro-European, like 99%,
So now we have some question for the Hungarian team today.
So you experience delays in your joining of the EU in European Union. What do you think? Why is it? Whose fault is it? Like, could Albania do something better, or the EU? And could there anything be that speeds up this process?
Yeah, we just said it, that we have to fulfill these conditions, and we're trying to adjust the EU acquis, which has 33 chapters and 2 economic and political criteria. So Albania has had a lot of progress, but still, you know, the stick and carrot theory, so they are still using that theory with us.
I mean, we can follow we are not like the Scandinavians and the Scandinavian states. I mean, we cannot,
we cannot say that we are like doing great with our.
But still, we are doing the best that we can, and that's why this is the best that we can. I mean, it's the European Union is asking us a lot, comparing, for example, to Hungary and to all the membership in 2004. I mean, it is what is happening to us in North Macedonia right now. If the rules that are applying to us right now, it would be applied in 2004. I'm pretty sure that even Hungary and Poland and every other country would not receive the membership in the European Union.
So now we have a question for Francesco.
So actually I have a couple of questions. First of all, General, what is democracy for you?
The respect for human rights, human values.
Okay, this is personal, so I'm going to answer personal. I'm not saying the opinion of the organization. For me, democracy is overrated.
Okay, so next question is about Albania. You told that you are 99% as a population probably agree to join European Union. Do you think that from Albanian side there are still some steps to do it in, for example, transparency, bureaucracy, corruption? There is something that don't respect still the European standard? Or do you think that it's something only political problem due to other countries that don't want let you join the European Union?
We have concluded the justice reform recently. Well, it is being implemented because there are new institutions being raised. The justice reform was voted on 2016 with the support of the United States, and now it is being implemented, and we are waiting to see results of that. So
And that's a huge
we're
step
hoping,
for us.
we're hoping that it will eradicate, corruption and abuse of power.
I mean, we're not blaming other countries that Albania is not entering EU. We have our own problems and we're still working on them. At least we are doing the so-called homework. We are doing these justice reforms and other economic and social reforms. But the problem is that every time the evaluation, for Albania's progress report comes, it's always that you've done good progress, but another country has a veto or doesn't want Albania in EU. As I said before, there were countries who entered the EU and they fulfilled these conditions while being into EU. This possibility was not given to us because now we're entering in a late period and EU is stable.
And now there is another question from my friend, Hungarian friend.
Are there any of these 33 points that you think you said that are hard to fulfill, or especially hard to fulfill?
The most important one is chapter 23, which is the justice one. So because of like corruption, the level of corruption in Albania is really hard to fulfill. So the justice reform that Gary mentioned before, it's a huge step for us.
But we can say that it has been made a little bit of progress yet. It is the first step, but now actually there are some politicians who are arrested for corruption, and the justice reform, it was applied also in Croatia, and it was a success in Croatia, and we hope that we will follow the Croatia model, and in the last 10 years, in the 10 years in the future, we will see some product from the reforms.
Okay, I have the last question because we spoke about steps, okay, and make the first step is the title of the project, and make the first step is participation, youth participation, because you are young. I don't know if you took part, but I would like to have some information, and even to the other people that are listening, some information about some movement that I know had been in the university in last year. So if you can give me more information about why there were some protests and which are the results, and if it was connected to some situation due to government and decision that could affect the young people.
Okay, first the protest was like a real good hope for the people, because it was like a second December. It started in December 2018, and I must mention that if the regime, the Hoxhaist regime, fall from actually protest from the students, and the people were hoping for a second December. The problem, they achieved a lot of things. I mean, the government they changed the Ministry of Education and some other ministries, and they made some deals with they fulfilled some points from what the protests the student wanted. But there was a main problem about the organization, because the protest didn't have like a head of the protest, and in that case, with time, it fall apart. Yeah, exactly.
It started with students going in the street and protesting because of the fees that they had to pay and the problems and the condition that they had in schools.
Mainly economic problems.
Mainly economic problems. And it was the first time that all the students were going together and protesting for something. And then their families joined, and then their professors joined, and everyone joined. And we thought it's going to be like a second student movement. But in Albania, there is this problem where students, I mean, others may not agree, but students and young people enter political parties. So if you enter different political parties, some students were infiltrated to just ruin the protest.
Yes, a lot of political parties infiltrated their youth forums there in the protest, and the opposition, for example, wanted to use this protest for her political
All the parties
benefit.
wanted to use it.
The government wanted to use this protest for her benefit, and other parties wanted to use the protest for their benefits.
So it lost the
and
unity.
it was very divided.
Yeah.
And for that, after 1 month, it disappeared, and
it was kind of violent, actually. The police got involved too, so there were students who were being arrested.
yes.
We still have ongoing protests. We had one before coming here. So
We have one before coming here about the prices, and
gas.
and
But everything, yeah.
Yes.
It started with the gas prices.
actually, for corruption too, because we have a scandal right now. But it is the same problem right now. There is no head of the protest, because everyone is. I'm not gonna say scared, but they are accused that you are used from this party, or you are used from the government, or some say he is used from George Soros and something like that. And for example, and for that, after a week, I mean, it was one Sunday, or
Yeah, I I think it was.
It was Sunday. It was maybe the biggest gathering of people in the last 13 years. But after a week, everyone, because to the lack of organization, everyone went in their direction and it was not successful. Even though I must say that at first the government was like, okay, this is free market, we cannot do anything about the prices. But after 1 week, they created some boards to control the prices. So in micro level, it was successful, but in macro level, it's not successful. But we are not hoping that with this kind of protest to overthrow the government, because we are part of the NATO, and with the Ukrainian war that is happening right now, it's not impossible. And for me, I believe that if you want to change our government, it should happen through a democratic way with elections. And considering that we want to be part of the European Union, there is no other way.
So it was a pleasure having you today. Thank you for everything. And that's the end of our podcast.